mama or soon to be mama, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassidy. I am a homeschooling, homemaking mama to 7 kiddos, but that was not always the case. I was once a single mom at 19 to my sweet older girl who is now 16, which is crazy. And so I just want to go ahead and share with you guys my 10 regrets and revelations that I've had since becoming a mom. Now, being a mom is the most incredible, wild, rewarding thing I could ever imagine doing in my life. There's nothing else I would rather do. I'm extremely passionate. It's what I love. And I really want to just spread that message of like the joy and gift that it is to be a mom and how rewarding and special it is and important. And I hope that these 10 tips or things that I wish I knew, or whatever you want to call it, it's going to help you and bless you in your motherhood and encourage you to simplify and just bring joy to motherhood. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so I gave you a little bit of a backstory of who I am, but I just want to go ahead and say that I was not always a homeschooling, homemaking mom to 7 kiddos, right? Like, I had to start somewhere, and I happened to be a 19-year-old young single mom, and I look back and think that's not how I wish I would have started, but I don't regret it. I think that I have learned a lot. I've become extremely confident in my mothering and I've become very resilient from all of the challenges and the things that I have gone through from being a young and single mom. And I think that that is one of my truest passions, is to help women who are either a new mom, just becoming a mom, especially the ones that are new to Christianity, because that was such a huge and pivotal season in my life. I always wanted to be a mom. It's something that I can look back to being a little girl, like I never have not wanted to be a mom, and I always wanted to have like 3 or 4 kids. Now 7 is much more, or at least it feels much more than 4, but it's something I've always wanted to do. I remember my mom asking me, and this is like, she was like born in the 60s. She was, you know, burn our bras, women rights, all of those things. And when I told her that I wanted to be a soccer mom, she was like, no, you need, you know, what else do you want to be? You're so capable of doing all the things. And I was like, yeah, I could do anything I want to do. I don't want to do any of those things. I literally want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's all I have ever wanted to be. And I think that was hugely influenced because my mom was not a stay-at-home mom. She was also a single mom. And I had a stepdad and people, like men in my life that were, you know, father figures or whatever you want to categorize that as. But she was always working. You know, there was just a lot she missed out on. I come from a traumatic childhood. There was a lot of stuff, dysfunction, and I think that is really why, that is what has powered and is the most influential thing in my motherhood journey. So that's a little bit about who I am. That's where I'm coming from. So if you're still interested in watching and learning what my 10 regrets and revelations are, then let's go ahead and keep going there. If this resonates at all with you, if any of those things, give this video a like. I'd really appreciate it. And let's go ahead and just get into this. Okay, so the first one, I want to go ahead and say routines are lifesavers. As much as I was hesitant and resistant upon them, they have been such a huge blessing in my life and in my children's lives. Just to give you a little backstory, my first one, I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't know anything. I wish I would have read some books. I wish I would have talked to other mothers. I wish I would have done a lot of things. Becoming a single mom was not like the plan. It wasn't the ideal, right? Like, it's not what you are wanting to do. You want to have a partner. You want to have somebody who's helping you and you know, supporting and coming alongside of you, whether it's a mom, whatever it is. Like, a support system is super big, and like that's a bonus tip, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is I had no idea what I was doing. And then with number 2, 3, and 4, that was when my husband was in boot camp, in serious training, heavy or deployments. And so it was really hard to find any kind of normalcy. And even though I was married, it was still like I was single parenting, which was extremely difficult and caused a lot of just like extra challenges than it needed to be. So having routines now with my 5, 6, and 7, I have learned what a blessing it is. And getting them to have a sleep schedule, getting them on a feeding schedule, it just alleviates a lot of stress and worry over like, are they eating too much? Are they sleeping enough? Are they sleeping too much? And then they get into a better rhythm. They are less fussy, less gassy, and, or at least in my experience, I have found that they are less fussy and less gassy, and we're coming into like less problems because I know, and not to say that before I didn't know when they were tired or when they were hungry and stuff like that, and they do like feed on command, or not command, on demand, while I'm breastfeeding. So I don't really like, I'm not really rigid on that aspect. However, knowing like how much sleep that they need, when to take their naps, when they're sleeping at night, all of those things create so much like relief, and it takes a lot of stress, and stress management is a huge thing. And like it can affect your breast milk supply, it can affect your sleep, it can affect so much. And so adding extra stress by just not having routines and trying to figure it out as you go is just not worth it. So consult some books, talk to me here on what I suggest down in the comments, or reach out to other mamas that you know and trust in your circles, whether it's at church, your family, that kind of thing, and just kind of figure out what like the general consensus is. And then this is going to go into my second thing: trust your instinct. Do not let people tell you how to parent your child. You have this bond with this baby. You are going to know that child better than anybody. And I'm not saying like as far as like your husband goes or your partner goes in like pushing too hard or whatever on your, like, work together. That's what I'm trying to get at. Work together. But as far as like other moms are concerned, or other people outside of your guys's like close-knit family of like you and your spouse, you and your partner, you and your baby, like that little family, that, you know, don't put what they say so heavily on what you do. If you don't agree with it, don't let other people pressure you into doing something or altering what you're doing, unless obviously you want to take that advice. But what I'm specifically saying, do not feel pressured or backed against a wall to do something with your child that you do not want to do, that you are not comfortable with, that you don't believe is the right thing. Because you will tend to either be bitter with people, resentful, or just frustrated. And it's just, again, unnecessary stress. You're putting stuff on yourself that you just don't need to. And I know it's really hard as a young mom, a new mom, inexperienced. You don't really know what to push back against. But I think there are certain things that I look back on, I wish that I would have been stronger about, and like comfortable in my convictions and what I know works for my children, even if that's not societal's idea or society's idea or the norm. Because okay, just trust me. There have been things throughout my parenting journey where I have, you know, started something or did something because other people were doing or was working for other people, or I felt pressure from other people to do, family, friends, other moms, influencers, authors, whatever it is, and just feeling like, okay, well, you know, maybe what I'm doing is wrong. Because again, coming from that single mom, young mom inexperience, I question myself, and I shouldn't. Like, I'm a mom to 7 kids now. I need to just trust my instincts, and I hope that you do also. So that's tip number 2. Number 3 is a tough topic, because I think that everybody has their ideal of how they're gonna feed baby, and it's just gonna work because, so what I'm getting at is breastfeeding is extremely difficult at first, and there is a lot to it, and it doesn't just come naturally most of the time. It's something that you and baby both have to learn. Latch is extremely important. It can be very painful. It can be very frustrating, and it can be very discouraging, and at least for like the 2 weeks. I feel like it takes a good 2 weeks to get solidified, or at least more comfortable in it. And so even though they say breast is best, and I was so like, I'm gonna breastfeed, this is the best thing for my baby, I'm not doing anything else, I refuse it, formula isn't as good, there's so many things it's depleted of, you know, all of it. I was so just clinging to, I have to breastfeed my baby because this is the best thing, and feeling so pressured and stressed out about it. And being a young single mom, there was a lot on my plate. I was not in a good place mentally, emotionally, physically. I looked like a zombie. Like, it was really bad. And because I was so, I don't know another word, but hell-bent to breastfeed, my baby was starving, I was in excruciating pain, and we were both miserable. We weren't sleeping, she was hungry, like, it was just all of the things. And I wish somebody would have told me fed is best. Fed is best. If you need help, ask for help. There are so much, there's so many resources, there's so much assistance, especially like in the hospital. There are lactation consultants, like there's all over social media, there's all this help that they have now that they didn't back then. But still, ask for help, just reach out. And if it's not working, do not feel like you are failing your baby. Do not feel like you're failing in motherhood. Do not feel like, and I know this is easier said than done, because even though I did have some people telling me those things, it didn't matter. I felt like I was failing my baby because I could not, my body could not sustain her as it ought to, as it was created to. And I was so frustrated and so just disappointed. And when I saw her drink that first bottle, I was so ashamed. I can't even. Okay, so number 4 is like a 2-part, because it kind of like coincides, but it's separate, okay? So on one hand, comparison is a trap. Do not compare yourself to other mothers, and do not compare your baby to other babies, because it will steal all your joy that you should be experiencing as a mom with your baby. And it's gonna be a competition, or you're gonna sit here and doubt yourself, you're gonna doubt your baby, you're gonna be putting problems where problems don't exist. We are all different. We have different skills and abilities and talents. We have different strong suits. We have different convictions. We have different upbringings. Like, there is literally so much that makes us different and our babies different, that we cannot sit here. There's like no cookie cutter, right, version. There is no manual to your baby or your parenting journey, because it is so different for everybody, and things that you don't think are going to be an issue for you might be, and maybe not for somebody else, right? And I'm one of the biggest offenders that at least that I know. I am the biggest offender that I know in this category. It is so hard to not look around, especially having 7 kiddos, which is a huge blessing, but sometimes you look around and you see how other people are doing it, and you're thinking, maybe I'm doing this wrong, maybe I'm not doing the best thing for them, maybe I am denying them certain things, or, oh, look how that mom is, you know, managing all of this, or look at that, like the way they're dressed and the way that they're working together, or like these meals, or like literally everything. Anything and everything could be a comparison problem trap or competition, and it's just stupid and it's a waste of time, and it'll cause you so much unnecessary stress. And for what? It doesn't add a single day to your life. It takes. It's a thief. So don't do it. Do not compare yourself. Do not compare your baby. Just enjoy it and be in the moment, okay? And then with that, and okay, so now in the second side is relax, okay? And this is one of the things that I struggle with the most. And I don't mean like relax as in like rest, self-care and stuff. And not that I don't believe in that, but like relax, don't worry about what other people are thinking about you. This is a huge thing that I have struggled with in all of my parenting journey. Honestly, I don't struggle with it as much, but I still do. There are days where it seeps in, where because I was a single mom, because so many people disagreed with my choice of being a young mom, a single young mom, or marrying my husband and him being in the military, like I was alone, right? Like it sucked, and I was always trying to prove to people that I was with my husband because I loved him and we wanted to have children and like have a life together, and that I didn't make a bad choice with keeping my baby and raising her by myself and not being with her dad. Like I just being in a small town doesn't help, but literally, like if I could just say, like if I were to stress anything, instincts are super important, and that goes with the do not compare yourself. And don't worry about what other people are going to think and say about how you are as a mother, right? The amount of time that I have wasted, the brain space, the emotions, the tears, all of it, the stress that I have wasted on worrying about those things, and literally does not add a single thing to my life. It didn't make me any better. It made me question myself. It made me doubt myself. It made me doubt being a mom. It made me doubt my baby. Like, ew. Just stay away from it, okay? And then number 5, don't rush the milestones. And what I mean by that is it's going to be so exciting when they sleep through the night, when they eat solids for the first time, when they start crawling, when they start talking, when they're rolling over, when they're doing all these things. It's so exciting, and it's just such a thrill as they're learning it, and you get to be there with them learning it, and you're watching them experience life, and it's great. And now I can't wait for the next thing. And what's the next thing? Oh, and ooh, when are we going to do this? Ooh, I can't wait for them to walk. I'm gonna like push that along. That's what I'm talking about. Don't rush the milestones. Don't rush the season, the place that you're in. Enjoy it. Soak it up for all that it's worth, because it is gonna pass by so fast. It like I'm sure I'm not gonna be the only person that's gonna tell you that it goes by so quickly. When you are in it, it's real slow. And I feel like when you're a mom of just one, it's your first, and you're young, it seems like it takes forever. And then you get older, the more you have, and you're just like, where did it go? How are we here yet? Like, my 7th is gonna be turning 1 here real soon, and I just feel like, where did it all go? And I know better. I know not to rush, because here's the thing. Once they start crawling, there are new challenges and hurdles that you are going to have to deal with. And once they start talking, oh, it's cute and it's fun, but never stops. And I'm saying this all with like humor, because I love every minute of it. I enjoy all of it. But I've also learned to just sit in it. And here's the thing, like, they learn it and it never goes away. They start walking, oh, they're running. And now you have to chase after them and follow after them. Oh, yeah, they're climbing out of their crib. Now they get to be in the toddler bell, and now you got to deal with all of the things that come with that. And I'm like being funny about this, but I'm also like telling you, like, it goes by so fast. It takes forever to get through or over that hurdle, and now you have 5 more And I'm not saying this to like discourage or like discredit the excitement and the joy that is happening, but more as like a warning of like, just enjoy it, just sit in it, take lots of pictures and videos and document it, and just enjoy it, because it's gonna go by so fast. And before you know it, they're 16 years old, driving on their own, talking about what they're gonna do after high school, and you have no idea where the time went. You just cannot believe that you're looking at a young lady, your little squishy girl. It goes by so fast. And I know that that's cliche, but I wish this is one of those things that I wish I understood the weight of it. Everybody said it, and you're just like, yeah, but like, it really does just go by so fast. So soak it up. Okay, so I have to put like a side note between after having baby number 2, I lost my mother. She passed away when he was about 9 months. We moved down to San Diego from Northern California, away from everybody that I knew and had any kind of like connection with, 6 weeks after he was born. And my older sister was no longer accessible. The 2 people that somewhat guided me, or gave any guidance really, to my first, were no longer in the picture. And so that affected this next one. I wish somebody would have told me that it's okay that your baby cries. And I don't mean like when they need you, when they're hurt, when they're sick, that kind of stuff. I mean like when they're overstimulated and frustrated, and you're overstimulated and frustrated, and you don't know what to do, and you're so overwhelmed, and you can't get your baby to calm down. You don't know what it is. I wish that somebody would have said, I wish I would have had somebody to say, I think is more of what I'm trying to get at. That it would be okay that the baby can cry. That stepping away for a few minutes, letting the baby cry in their crib safely, like in a safe place, right? And if you have support, if you have somebody to come alongside you, your husband, your spouse, a friend, a mom, a sister, whatever it is, if you have somebody to step in, that's even better. But they still may cry. Even though they have somebody to be there with them and comfort them, they may still cry. And I wish that I would have, I know you don't need permission, right? But it seems like sometimes you do. And I wish that I would have had the permission, the understanding that it's okay to set the baby down, again, safely, in a safe, reasonable situation, like in the crib, and walk away and take 10 minutes, take 5 minutes, take some minutes to just breathe and count down and calm down. I wish I would have just known that it's okay to take some time, a few minutes, to just decompress, get my head clear, get my emotions calm, to be able to go back into it. Because if you're like the baby, you guys are so connected, you're so bonded, that if you are overstimulated, overwhelmed, and stressed out and frustrated, it's going to be harder for them to calm down. And so taking that step away, taking a time out, a break, just for a little bit, just to regulate your breathing, to calm down, to like de-escalate the situation. Sometimes it's necessary to take a time out. And I don't care if you call your bestie, your mama, your auntie, your coach, somebody you trust, to be like, hey, I need you to hold this baby. I need to take a shower. I need to go for a coffee. I need to go do something. Can you just, I need to step outside where I can't hear the baby, and I need you to just hold this baby for a few minutes, because I can't. And that's okay. It's okay. It happens. It's understandable. Just know that, okay? So, on to the next one. Don't worry about the mess and the chaos of the house. It'll be there tomorrow. It'll be there when you get to it. There are going to be people, hopefully, in your life that you can call to help. There's going to be, hopefully you have a partner or something. And even if you don't, it's okay. It's okay. Like, do what you can, but like, it's okay. It's okay if the laundry is piled up. on the kitchen table right now. Get to it when you get to it. It is okay that you have not unloaded the dishwasher yet, because this is what I'm going to tell you, especially being a new mom. Sleep is so important. Relaxing is a huge part of recovery. And like I said, time goes by so quickly that getting nap trapped is sometimes the best thing in the whole world. Snuggling with that baby, like, the newborn phase goes so fast, goes by so fast, and every mom is there, you know, to each their own. Like, if you would much rather your spouse hold your baby, your partner hold your baby, whatever, while you go clean something, because that was what like would serve you best right there, that was what would bless you, then do that. But this is specifically for the people, the moms, who are like, just had a baby and just want to relax and feel pressure or obligated to like do these things, because it happens. Like, there are times where, especially when things start piling up and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just need to deal with it, or like so-and-so is gonna come over and so I need to take care of it. It's like, do what you can, but like, honestly, don't stress the mess. It, like, sleep is super important during this time in your life. It's so important for, like I said before, with the breastfeeding, with your relationship with your baby, how you are treating other people around you. There's a lot going on, especially in the first few weeks of having a baby. Your hormones are all over the place. Your body's trying to recover from the process of having a baby and nourishing and all of the things that it takes, and your baby's trying to figure out sleep, and there's so much that you're giving for the baby. Like, there's a lot, and so don't stress that mess, mama. Just, you know, do your best. If you want to do it, by all means, but don't stress it. Like, if you just recently had a baby, I'm gonna put it that way, and I'm coming over, I do not expect you to clean up. I would actually be more like, I'd be a little disappointed that you felt like you had to straighten up for me. And I appreciate if you're like, hey, I just want to bless her and whatever, then that's okay, that's fine. But what I'm talking about is like, oh, she's gonna, you know, be worried, or she's gonna be judge me, or like whatever. Like, bleh. No, gross. No, no, no. Don't worry about the dishes, I'll wash them. Don't worry about the laundry, I can help fold it. If you need me to hold the baby while you do that, I'll do that too. Like, I'm here to love and serve you. Don't worry about doing all that stuff. So don't stress the mess. Okay, so far we have talked about trust your instincts, don't compare, we've talked about breastfeeding, we've talked about relaxing as far as like what people are thinking about you, we talked about not stressing the mess. And before we get into the other ones, if you guys have found these helpful or you've enjoyed this video so far, would you mind giving it a like? That really helps out my channel. If you're not subscribed already and this is the kind of content you're looking for, don't be afraid to subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified anytime I release a new video. And let's go ahead and talk about the last three, shall we? Mom guilt is a real thing, and it is constant. I'm sure you've heard, like, if you are questioning if you're a good mom, only good moms would question if they're being a good mom, right? Like, if you are doing your best and you are trying to get better and you're trying to learn and you're trying to bless your family and you're trying to love them and serve them and all of those things that being a mom entails, if you're doing all of those things and you're questioning if you're doing enough, if you're whatever, I'm gonna assume that you're a good mom. But that doesn't mean that mom guilt isn't real. I can sit here and think about so many different things, you guys, so many different things where it's, I question myself, I question my tactics, I question if I'm doing the right thing, I question if I'm teaching the right lessons, if I'm making the right choices, if I'm loving my children the best of my ability, if I'm being selfish, if I'm not teaching them the right lessons, if their life is too easy, if their life is not hard enough, if they're like, you guys, all of the things. I question myself daily about all of the things, and I just feel like there are things that you are going to feel guilty about that you never imagined you would feel guilty about. There are going to be things that you question that you never thought that you would be questioning, that you thought you were fully committed to, fully convicted on, but it'll make you question everything. And I think that it's just important to know and remember you're doing your best. I personally am a Christian, so I have, you know, I'll say like a rule book, principle book of what I believe in, and kind of like a way to measure if I'm doing the right things, and that helps a lot. But that doesn't mean that it alleviates the questions, and you know, and if nothing else, it might even add a whole nother bucket of them. But I do know that I'm doing my best, and I pray where I fail or where I'm messing up, where I miss things, you know, God will just get in there, intercede on my behalf, cover those things that I'm not doing so well. And so far, let me tell you, he's doing a fabulous job, because like I said, I've probably beat this over the head enough, but being a young and single mom with my oldest now being 16, and like I said, she's driving now, like she's a young woman, she's incredible. She is far better than I could have ever been at her age. She is loving, she is kind, she is smart, she is funny, and she's just so much better than me. And I do not know how. I don't know how we raised such an incredible girl. She blows me away. I am so proud of her. And I look at all of my children and I don't deserve them. And they love me so well. And this is going to get into the last one since we're here in this video. It is all worth it. Every question, every doubt, every fear, every tear, every stressful sleepless night, every bump, every bruise, every recovery, the C-section, the shoulder distortion, the broken bones, the lonely nights, all of it, every single bit of it, anything that I can possibly tell you, all of the comparing, all of the doubting, all of it is so worth it. I literally could have never imagined having 7 children. Like, I will look back and I think, like, I cannot believe I have 7 kids, because one, that's crazy, but also the Lord has seen it so fit that I get to have 7 kids. What an incredible gift. What a blessing. I get to love these 7 fun, crazy, loving, sweet, wild people. And I get to experience all of their life. I get to stay at home. I get to be their teacher. I get to experience all of it with them. You guys, I missed a lot raising my oldest for the first 4-ish years, and I had to share a lot of her moments outside of my home or on a video or a picture or whatever. You get what I'm saying? I didn't get to experience all of it, whether she was at her dad's or in childcare, which our situation was extremely awesome, but still. But all of the other kids, I get to experience all of the milestones. I get to be the one to teach them to read. I get to be the one to see their accomplishments. I get to be the one to congratulate. I get to be the one to comfort them. I get to be for all of it, everything. And it is the most fabulous, wonderful, difficult, hard, challenging, fun. It is literally the best thing in the absolute world to be a mom. There's literally nowhere in the world I would rather be. There's absolutely nothing I would rather do. And I know not everybody is like that, but let me tell you, when I sat there and I dreamed of being a stay-at-home mom, when I was that young single mom, when I was married to that sailor, I sit here and I look back on all of it, and I cannot believe this is my life. I used to dream of it, and this is far better. It blows every dream and expectation I ever had. God has done so much in my life, in me, through my children, for my children. Y'all, I hope that it comes across to you why I am so passionate and feel so strongly about the role of a mother, the calling, all of it, and why I feel so led and compelled to inspire, encourage, uplift, and love moms, especially the young new mom, in their journey in motherhood. It is something that I feel so very passionately about, and I hope that you come away from this video being encouraged and inspired and looking forward to your journey as a mom and what is to come. If you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, because it really helps me out, like I said, in my channel, and it'll help spread it to other mamas who may need the encouragement or inspiration. If you're not already subscribed, please do so, and don't forget the bell. And if you're looking for more motherhood type content, I will go ahead and leave this playlist and you can go check it out there. If you have anything that you would like to add, put it down in the comments. What is the thing that inspired you, encouraged you the most? I would love to know down in the comments. I really want to engage with you guys, so leave me a comment, tell me what's going on, what baby are you on, what are you looking forward to most, any of those things. I would love to engage with you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.